Yes, ladies and gentlemen of Bills Mafia and sports fans all around, you are live here in the Sit Down, a sports entertainment show hosted by the Sauce God and also hosted by Mr. 12 Gauge, aka Ramparts. I'm sorry, I just confused 12 Gauge and Rampart. That is normally the two other hosts of the Sit Down right here on Facebook and YouTube. But if you haven't already done so, join us here in the comments. Hit us with a like and a share. And also make sure you're following and subscribe with those notifications turned on. We'll be live here in just a few more seconds. All right, Bills Mafia and sports fans all around and sports bettors all around the world. This is the Sauce God, your host, of course, at Buffalo Sauce God, across all social media platforms, and also live on Facebook right now on my Facebook profile, Anthony Bomasudo, where you want to make sure you're following me with your notifications turned on so you don't miss any of the up-to-date Bills news and Bills content and other sorts of entertaining content that I've been coming out with in the last year and a half, 2 years or so. And also join here with me is my host, Mr. 12 Gauge, the man with the rage that has to be on stage, because I'll tell you something. He's got something to say today. Mr. 12 Gauge, how you doing this afternoon?
Oh, I am doing very well. Stomach's a little weird, but all in all, pretty good. How about yourself?
Well, Gage, I know you had to get on here. You told me, hey, I got to make it onto the sit down this week because I have to talk about exactly what happened at the end of the race in Atlanta, which, I'm thrilled to discuss. But, Gage, also today we're going to discuss a little bit about Bills and their status right now and everything that they've got kind of coming up and my thoughts on some of the current players and some of the things that I think that the Bills are going to have to do. We are also going to talk about some of the other top news in the world of sports, like Caitlin Clark potentially breaking Pistol Pete Maravich's all-time scoring record and my thoughts on that, as well as Gauge with the stats. We also have some insight to sports betting, as well as some of the recent wins and losses that we've had in the world of sports betting. So if you haven't already done so, people, please hit me with a like and a share. Join us here in the comments. We're live here on Facebook and on YouTube. And if you haven't done so, make sure you're subscribed to my YouTube channel at Buffalo Sauce God and turn your notifications on so you don't miss any of the live shows or any of the other content that keeps you guys all entertained and up to date. And also make sure you're following and liking on Facebook for not only my profile at Anthony Bomasudo, but the Gamebook Sports and Entertainment Network. You can see that on Facebook. And we are over 1,000 likes. We're hoping to get even further than that, ladies and gentlemen. So hit us with a like and a share. We've got a lot to discuss. 12 Gauge, why don't we go ahead and kick that music down? And why don't we get ourselves ready to kick off that introduction video and get ourselves hyped, because we're live here in the Sit Down, a sports entertainment show presented by Duff's and Miss Wings and BuffaloSauceGuy.com.
Second. Let's get this over with. 1, 2, 3, 4.
It's simple, baby. Buffalo Bills football is heck, all right? And we tell you something.
I'm gonna crack a cold one because since it's a tailgate.
Ooh, ice cold, Mike. Let me tell you.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are live here in the Sit Down with Sauce God, a sports and entertainment show.
I'm whipping the sauce, I'm tripping, of course, I want it all. All of my dogs be running with guard. Your mama, you're holding your pennies and bra. Cause when I get whipping the sauce, you taking it off. I'm dancing on tracks like stomping the yard. We keeping it quiet, we moving the signs. But now we starting to riot, yeah. Keeping my eye on the prize. I got me a queen, we riding like Bonnie and Clyde. Trips to Dubai, the way I be flexing, I'm destined for changing my decimals. Decibels hitting the wave, I'm rapping incredible. Splitting they head like a cantaloupe edible. Got me so high, I'm touching the sky. Of course, I give it my all. I'm whipping the sauce, kicking the door. But then we been here before. She ain't involved, well she ain't involved. Taking my shot, even if down, we tying the score. Do your dancing, now twist, don't stress, don't trip. Whipping sauce real quick, stay dripping, sipping on cognac. Roll tea in my veins, but you find that I'm whipping it, watch it get saucy.
How you doing it?
I'm twisting and mixing them, shaking them haters right off me.
What you doing?
You are live here in the Sit Down, a sports and entertainment show, and also a live podcast on Facebook and on YouTube. We used to have a live schedule, but now we kind of pop up and talk free reign whenever the hell we feel like it, because we've done something different. We took season 3 and myself, 12 Gauge, and my guy Tyler, aka Rampart, the two regular co-hosts of the sit down. We decided we're going to make it more free reign. We want to talk more about culture and life and stories that we just want to debate on and things like that. So we have some interesting topics to discuss, and I'm really Gage. Honestly, I think you're going to be kind of thrilled with some of these things that we're going to discuss. But let's go right into it first and foremost. NASCAR, Atlanta. I mean, take me through what you thought of the final ending and exactly what you really think transpired to propel the winner into first.
Well, that honestly was one of the best races I have ever seen. Competition was right up there. A lot of passing, a lot of excitement, a couple crashes in the beginning. But yeah, in the end, 3 wide finishes for Daniel Suarez, the winner. I saw him go to the outside of Kyle Busch and Ryan Blaney. I immediately stood up because, wow, getting into 3, going 3 wide, getting off of 4 wide, 3 wide, man, nothing beats it. Nothing beats that type of racing.
I mean, it was a picture perfect finish to the point where they actually had to really go and frame by frame. And even the commentators themselves thought, a certain person edged a little bit more, but Suarez comes out with the victory. So, Gage, overall, 1, 2, 3, what was the correct order for NASCAR's race in Atlanta?
Daniel Suarez was the winner. Ryan Blaney finished second. Kyle Busch finished third.
So I got to say, I know a lot of people weren't exactly Kyle Busch fans, especially when he made that shift from, I believe it was from Chevy to Toyota. And a lot of people weren't necessarily thrilled with a lot of NASCAR drivers that made that switch because, it's an American sport and we want to see American made vehicles promoted. And that was typically Chevy, Dodge, Ford, and no Toyota. But now you don't even have Dodge, which kind of sucks because I think that the Dodge was a little bit of a different thing that you threw in there and made it a little bit interesting too. But these Chevys, man, the way they're performing is nonetheless, I think, the top of the game right now. I think you got to give credit to Joey Logano. How he has raced these last couple of races. He has raced hard and he's been in contention. I mean, you might not like the guy, but the guy has been. He looks like he is the guy that can win any race that he is in. So it's a little shocking to see that he didn't come out with the win for Penske, but I think he's going to have a chance to bounce back. So early favorites for you to win in Vegas. So what are you thinking?
I'm kind of liking Kyle Busch and Kyle Larson. I'm maybe throwing Logano in there too.
And okay, now I want to highlight something that Gage just said. For anybody that wants to go and bet NASCAR, this might be some good mojo for you guys. Kyle Busch is from Vegas. I'm not exactly sure that Gage is. I'm sure he probably knows he's from Vegas, but maybe he didn't necessarily put that 2 and 2 together. So maybe Gage just was onto something right away from just naturally, right? Kyle Busch, is a Vegas boy, went to Durango High School. Him and his brother Kurt, actually, that's where I was supposed to go to high school. Dominic, Dominic, he graduated from there, and some other people that I know. So always a little bit of respect that I got for Kyle Busch. But I think that's a good chance that you're going to see him. I also think you're going to see Byron maybe bounce back and come on the season starting off hot and giving the number 24 car, repping real, solid. And something that Jeff Gordon himself would be very proud of. But I like Gage, and I know that we're going to probably have a chance to talk a little bit more about NASCAR later on this weekend. We'll probably be live Saturday, guys, for those of you out there that are interested in talking more NASCAR. But we have a lot of show left here, ladies and gentlemen. We are just getting into it. You're live in here in the sit down. This is presented by the best damn chicken wings there are, Duff's Famous Wings. Go to the original one on Sheridan Drive. You don't have to ask for them extra crispy. Remember that medium is hot. And always, 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 always understand that these are the best damn chicken wings. Duff's Famous Wings. on Sheridan Drive. I mean, you can go to other locations too, don't get me wrong, but that's home for me. And this is also presented by BuffaloSauceGod.com, where you can get some Sauce God merch. You can also get some Sauce God and Bill's Mafia tied together related merchandise as well. We're going to talk a little bit about the state of the Buffalo Bills here later on in the show, and about the world of sports betting and the things that myself and Mr. 12 Gauge have tapped into with this little thing that we have called Parlay Patron. And there's going to be more things on that coming in the later parts of the show, as well as in the coming weeks. Maybe even by this weekend, you guys can see a little bit more about that. So let's talk, Gage. We talked NASCAR. Let's go into let's talk a little bit about this whole Caitlin Clark and Pistol Pete Maravich thing. Now, I got a lot of respect for Caitlin Clark, because this girl, she balls out for college. She does. She balls out for Iowa. And I mean, the way that she had them relevant all the way through March Madness last year, just finishing short, obviously, of the national title to LSU. But that was a stacked LSU team. Let's not forget. But this young lady has done some incredible things in the level of college basketball, averaging 28 a game, I believe. Also, she rebounds, she assists, she does all that stuff too. She shoots the three really well. But this is going to have a chance for her to break the all-time, not just women's. We're talking all-time college basketball, women's and men's scoring record. Now, Gage, I want you to go ahead and tell me, Pistol Pete Maravich, this guy, listen, y'all don't even know. Pistol Pete Maravich is a legend that we never truly got to see the entire greatness of, because the guy was derailed by some injuries when he got to the pros. And he was also plagued by some type of physical illness that is what he actually would later on die from. Gage, give me the stats. How many games has Caitlin Clark been at, and what are the numbers looking like?
Well, Caitlin Clark has played 129 games with that 3,650 points. Pistol Pete played 83 games and amassed 3,677 points.
Pistol Pete played how many games?
83.
That's it?
That's it.
Okay, and Caitlin Clark played, I'm sorry, how many again?
129.
Okay, so guys, we're talking a full almost season and a half, almost.
Yeah.
Okay, Caitlin Clark. And I'm not trying to discredit her or nothing. I'm just saying y'all need to understand the legend of Pete Maravich. That's all I wanted to talk about. This dude averaged 44 a game. Okay. This dude also was pulling up from 3-point range when there was no 3-pointer. Okay. So that's something else. When you go back, and if you change his statistics to incorporate the 3-point line, I think he was averaging 50 something. You know what I'm saying? So it's ridiculous. Also, Pistol Pete was one of the most crafty people with the basketball, the way he could pass. And he did some great things in the NBA, but again, we just never got to see the true legend of it. So I think if you want to talk about Caitlin Clark, you got to give her in the respect to the women's record, because here's the thing. There's no dudes even touching Pistol Pete Maravich. I'm not even trying to talk about anybody else in his lane either. I mean, the next closest thing I could really think of was Jimmer Fredette. Jimmer Fredette, the dude was just a walking bucket anywhere on the freaking court.
Yeah.
Now, it's crazy to think that Pistol Pete really would have had way more points if the 3-point shot was a thing. And just to think that he was actually pulling up from deep range and draining it, even though there was no 3-point line, that's a guy that truly revolutionized the game, if you look at it in that regard. Gage, what do you think? Caitlin Clark, she's definitely going to break the record, barring some type of injury, some type of crazy thing. What do you think? Is this quite the accomplishment, or what?
It is very much quite the accomplishment. She only needs 18 more to pass Pistol Pete, which I believe she will get on Saturday.
I think so too. I mean, that's the thing, is she's going for the record, obviously, and this is somebody that's averaging 28 a game, which that is a number that's incredible, by the way. But also, I want to say Pistol Pete didn't play his freshman year, because back then you didn't play. If you were a freshman, it just was a rule, I think, that you couldn't play if you were a freshman. So he only played 3 years, really. That's just incredible, right? Overall, actually, it was only 2 years. I'm not entirely sure, but overall, man, this is a cool thing. We're going to see this all-time scoring record for both men's and women's basketball in college being broken. And congratulations, Caitlin Clark, on a well-accomplished career. Let's talk about some other news in sports here. But if you haven't already done so, ladies and gents, do me a favor, hit that like and hit that share button. And if you're not already doing so, make sure you are subscribed to my YouTube at Buffalo Sauce God. Check me on the TikTok at Buffalo Sauce God, Instagram at Buffalo Sauce God, on Facebook at Anthony Bomasudo, where you can get your up-to-date Bills news and all sorts of content. And also the Gamebook Sports and Entertainment Network on Facebook, which will soon have a YouTube channel as well. But make sure you're turning your notifications on so you don't miss the sit down or any of the other content or any of the live stuff that we have been doing over here, because we still have a lot jam-packed in the show. We've got some other topics of sports, and including a global jersey sales record broken. We've also got to talk a little bit about the Yankees' current young outfielding situation and the prospects that they've got coming up in the minors. And we've got to talk about a little bit about the Bills too, Gage. This is the first time that we've really discussed anything Bills related. And it's not going to be in depth. It's not going to be about the season, but it's going to be about some of the things I think people need to hear. We're also going to discuss the number one overall NFL pick, number one pick in the NFL draft this year, and the situation that's transpiring there, and what we think the Bears should do with that pick. And we also have some betting things to discuss later on in the show too, which you don't want to miss, because if you've been paying attention, hit a 15 leg this week, hit a 10 leg this week, and Parlay Patron has hit a 17 leg and a 20 leg. So if you guys want to make some money, you might get some free picks right here in the Sit Down, a sports and entertainment show. So 12 Gage, let's talk next about the number one overall pick in the NFL draft coming up. Personally, I think the Bears don't want to trade. They shouldn't trade Justin Fields. They have the number one overall draft pick. I know everybody's saying this Caleb Williams kid is, he's incredible talent, this and that. Sure. Okay. But I have like this feeling this kid is going to be a little bit of a bust. I think I've seen Justin Fields show me enough with subpar talent and subpar blocking and just overall a subpar franchise. I think he showed me enough to be the quarterback of my future, where why take the risk? You could trade that number one overall pick and get a plethora of picks. I mean, if the Bears were smart, that's what they would do. And I think that that's what they're going to do. I ultimately don't believe that they're going to they're not going to draft number one overall. There's teams that need a quarterback that much more that will just go heavy for the number one overall pick. But Caleb Williams, I don't think he's going to be good in the NFL. And I'll tell you why. His last season, his production fell off quite a bit after his Heisman season and all the hype started around him. He's also been quoted, or his father's been quoted as saying whatever team drafts him, he wants part of the ownership of the team, which is insane to me because that doesn't even happen for any current player, and he's never played it down in the NFL. And also because you have a guaranteed contract if you're a first overall pick or first round pick in the NFL, and that's agreed upon by the NFL Players Association and the collective bargaining agreement agreed upon with the owners. So Caleb Williams has got all this, this and that, or how he'll stay in college if he doesn't want to go to the team that's going to draft, right? To me, that just says nothing but entitlement. That doesn't say anything like C.J. Stroud does to me, where it's a guy that wants to win. He's selfless. He's a teammate. He's got the maturity. He's got the ability to do things right away. Caleb Williams might have some talent. I'm not disagreeing with that. But do I think he is honestly that worth trading somebody I've seen play well enough? I mean, whether or not you like Justin Fields or whether or not you think he throws the ball well, he had some terrific games for the Bears last year. And the Bears, yeah, they might have sucked, but they won some games and they were just in the mix a lot. And again, subpar talent. You got him a good receiver in DJ Moore. You saw things trend upwards. Gage, what do you think? The Bears, number one overall pick. What's the best thing to do? What should they do?
I can see someone trying to get the number one pick from them. I also agree that they should not trade Justin Fields. You just drafted him a few years ago. Honestly, maybe they keep it and maybe go for a receiver, Marvin Harrison.
That's my thinking. Is this: if you're the Bears, trade down. I think the Cardinals are at 4. Trade down to 3 or 5, wherever you think you can get Harrison Jr., which he's more than likely going to be a top 5, top 3 pick. And I think he should be the first overall pick. But trade down, pick up maybe an extra couple of draft picks and take Marvin Harrison Jr. and add some things to your future. Because if you can gain draft capital, especially first round talent, that sets yourself up for a successful future, because you're not paying bigger contracts for people. You're getting added depth and you're getting added young talent that you can develop. And that's what you want if you're a franchise, right? I just don't understand all this hype with
Absolutely.
Caleb Williams. I think Justin
Mm.
Fields, I understand the inconsistencies. He's had some injury, whatever. But again, he's shown me he's a freaking gamer. And he's even last year, before the season, he was running the football exceptionally well. And again, this is a guy with subpar talent. But it remains to be seen what the Bears are going to do. At the moment, it doesn't seem like they are 100% going to trade Justin. Maybe they've opened up the window to it and he could seek trade. I don't know. People talk about maybe him going to Atlanta. I just don't know. To me, you got to get, you just go and trade that pick to somebody. I don't even care if you drop down to out of the first, middle of the first round. I don't care. Pick up an extra 2 first-round picks, a first round, a second round. Who knows? That's what you should do.
Mm-hmm.
If you haven't already done so, ladies and gents, hit the like and share. This is the Sit Down, a sports and entertainment show hosted by myself, the Sauce God, and 12 Gauge over here. And this is presented by Duff's Famous Swings and BuffaloSauceGod.com, live on Facebook and YouTube. And if you're not already doing so, make sure you're followed, liked, and subscribed. Notifications turned on. And we have more ahead in the show in relation to sports betting and some other topics in the world of sports, as well as the NFL draft coming up soon, ladies and gents. We also have to talk about the state of the Buffalo Bills. So, Gage, the Yankees currently have some excitement, right? They added Juan Soto. I think a lot of people forget that Juan Soto is still under 25 years old. This dude is still very, very young. This is dude that has a World Series ring under his belt and has been he's been elite every year that he's played. I didn't think the Padres situation was right for him last year. I thought that the Padres kind of just bolstered up too many superstar talents per se. And it just, I don't know, too much. But you come to New York where star power is a thing. You know what I'm saying? And to put him under the lights where he can thrive. And this is an environment I think Juan Soto is going to be open to excelling in. But you also have this kid, Spencer Jones, coming up in the minors. And this dude is huge. He's a center fielder. He's 6'6", I believe. He's close to Aaron Judge's size. And this kid is hitting well. And he's coming up. He's developing very well. He's in spring training. He had a home run, I believe, in his debut or something like that. Now you also have Jason Dominguez, the Martian, who he had an injury or whatever, but he's going to come back. He'll be all right. It makes you wonder what the Yankees are going to do with their outfield, because you have Aaron Judge in right field. That's no question. You have Juan Soto in left. You have Juan Soto in center. You put Spencer Jones in center. You put Spencer Jones in left. You have Alex Verdugo. You maybe move him to first. I don't know. The Yankees have excitement, and especially young excitement in the outfield, and that's something I think us Yankee fans have a lot to look forward to about. I'm really excited to see how Juan Soto does as a New York Yankee. I think this was a trade that I kind of maybe foresaw before he went to the Padres. And I didn't necessarily want it at the time because I knew the kind of money he wanted to command. But if there's a team that's capable of taking on that type of money, it is definitely a team like the New York Yankees. And speaking of teams taking on massive contracts, let's talk about the LA Dodgers, who picked up superstar free agent Shohei Ohtani, the biggest thing in baseball since Babe Ruth, and now has surpassed Derek Jeter in global jersey sales. Now, here's the funny part about that, right? That's pretty damn cool because Shohei Ohtani hasn't even played as many years as Derek Jeter. But here's the one thing. Put some respect on that captain's name, R-E-2-P-E-C-T, because Derek Jeter played for one team. Shohei Ohtani has played in Japan. Shohei Ohtani has played for the Angels, and Shohei Ohtani has played now for the Dodgers. That is 3 teams. So, yeah, you might have sold more jerseys, but it's because people got to go buy another jersey. You know what I'm saying? Derek Jeter, he had 1 jersey. That's it. That's all you needed. He played for one team his entire career, so you got to put some respect on the captain's name. But it is pretty damn cool to see Shohei Ohtani, who is making the game of baseball become even more of a global phenomenon, and it's making the game of baseball, I think, more and more popular. I mean, you see his contract, 10 years, $700 million, with the insane deferred part of the contract, meaning he's only going to get $2 million a year while he's actually playing in the MLB. And when he retires, then it starts coming in plethora. And the LA Dodgers also have themselves quite the payroll with Yamamoto and everybody else they got over there. So 12 gauge, man. What do you make of Shohei Ohtani? What do you think? You think him and the Dodgers are going to win the World Series this year, or are they going to come up short like it seems like the Dodgers do, unless there's a COVID year?
Hard to say. I can see him going like to the divisional series.
He's got to stay healthy the whole year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
The thing
yeah.
is, seen him put together some full seasons, but we also have seen him, become injured and not able to pitch, but he could DH. But you get him for $700 million, you get him for both things. So if he stays healthy, I think the LA Dodgers definitely can get themselves into the mix. But that's the thing about baseball. You saw the Rangers win this year. You saw the Orioles get themselves in the mix. And there's a lot of talent in the MLB right now, especially a lot of young talent. I think the Major League Baseball is honestly on the trending upwards, Gage. I think it's become more exciting with the pitch clock. You've got the bases are a little bit bigger, so you've seen more stolen bases. You got guys that are honestly not juicing too. So the game of baseball is honestly at its best point in quite a while. So 12, let's keep that talk going here, brother. I want to just talk about something random. What do you make of 3D printers?
Where did that come from?
Oh, believe me,
Holy
you'll be in
shit.
it.
I like the technology. The ability to make something useful out of nothing is incredible. 3D printers, huh?
So my thing is this, right? So, it throws me off, right? What the 3D printer? I get it. You know what I'm saying? This was some shit that we saw in Fairly Odd Parents, 3D printing, right? But now they're 3D printing houses. My one thing is, what the fuck is the material? What is the material? Okay, number one. So like you're telling me, all right, check it out. I'm the 3D printer salesman. We got fucking 58,000 nails and screws. We got 2 tons of lumber. We've got ourselves a bunch of concrete, flooring, electrical, plumbing, all this and that, right? And it's fit into this little printer right here for $199.99. It's like it throws me off. How the hell are they 3D printing houses? And what the hell, the material? None of it makes sense to me. It's like, so can we start 3D printing people? Can we start 3D printing, money? Can we start 3D print? Can we do these things? Because it just doesn't seem real to me. I know that was a strange topic, but it's something I was actually discussing before we went live, and I felt like it was a pretty good topic to discuss. So let's also talk a little bit more about the Buffalo Bills now, Gage. And that is something that I think I need to just go on the record. Everybody and their mother is talking about Von Miller's contract. I want to highlight something, Bills Mafia. Von Miller doesn't get hurt. Von Miller's productive. Are we all sitting here saying, hey, boom, we need to get rid of him? No, that's probably not the case.
Absolutely
Let me
not.
say this. Von Miller, everybody and Bills Mafia, I hate to be the guy, but I need to remind us all, sometimes we are very, very, very impatient because we've been disappointed so many times, which I understand. I'm not disagreeing. But Von Miller was coming off of an ACL injury in his 30s after playing at an elite level for a lot of years and building up the mileage. And it was a freak play, on turf. But Von Miller recovered from that injury and it came back a lot faster than I think anybody anticipated that he was going to. He tried to come back even quicker than he was supposed to. But Von Miller didn't necessarily have that production, and everybody was so disappointed. But everybody needed to remember that it wasn't really Von Miller. It was maybe about 70% of Von Miller, maybe 60%. So Von Miller, he gets fully healthy this year. I don't want to see him gone. We brought him here to win a championship, and that's what I think in his heart he's going to set out to do. He has the heart of a lion. He's got the desire. He's got the hunger, and he's not satisfied. He's the guy that wants to bounce back. So I think everybody in Bills Mafia needs to be a little bit patient with Von Miller because nobody's going to want to take on his contract. We're not going to cut him. You want to talk about players that, we need to maybe think about how can we restructure or maybe just, find a new home for them. Dawson Knox, man, I love the guy. I really do. But that extension just doesn't look good now when we have Dalton Kincaid on a rookie contract for a first round pick. You got 4 years guaranteed. You can have him for 5 if you want to put him on the fifth year option. So it doesn't look good having Dawson Knox. But I will say Josh Allen could probably restructure his contract. They restructured Connor McGovern's contract, so it freed up a little bit more room. And then we have the Stephon Diggs situation. That's going to be something that's interesting to see how that's played out because I don't know. I think in a sense it makes you wonder sometimes if you've peaked with a player, and have we peaked with Stephon Diggs because we've seen him dominate, but then we've seen it tail off. And we've seen the drops in the later part of the last season. And we see in the playoffs how it ain't the same. all the distractions that come with all the noise and this and that. Stephon Diggs, if he just firmly comes out and just, starts declaring his love for the team, it'd be a little bit different. But he leaves us hanging a little bit, Gage, and it makes me a little bit disappointed because I have so much respect for him, and I thought what him and Josh Allen had was a true brotherhood, and it just doesn't seem to be as prominent on the field, and it makes me start to wonder. Maybe if you moved on from Stephon Diggs and got some type of draft compensation for him, if you could get a first-round pick for him, wonderful. Then maybe try to re-sign Gabe Davis. Maybe try to mold him into your number one overall. I know a lot of people are going to maybe disagree with that, but this guy is somebody who has played at the level of wide receiver one. He's also one of the best run blocking wide receivers in the game. And I think he complements Josh Allen and the other guys around him really well. I don't think he doesn't demand as much. He doesn't ask for the balls, but he fills in and does his part. I want to see guys like that. I don't want to see guys that are going to let their brother, make all this noise and stuff like that. So I wonder if we've hit that point with Stephon Diggs. And if we keep him, I hope he proves me wrong. And I hope he shuts me up, because then I would honestly eat my words and have no problem doing so. Our defense has some question marks now. AJ Epinesa. The good thing is we got Matt Milano coming back. Hopefully he recovers fully and healthy. We have Tre'Davious White hopefully coming back, but those are tough contracts too. And it's going to be a little tough to see how the Bills are shaped in the offseason. We have the NFL draft coming up, but Brandon Beane is already starting to make moves, and I believe that there are more moves on the horizon that are going to be in the mode of restructuring. But I think everybody in Bills Mafia needs to remember this too, 12 gauge, is that when you have a franchise quarterback, which Josh Allen, if anybody says he's not a franchise quarterback, then that's just a hater. When you have a franchise quarterback, the Super Bowl window is always open. Everybody thought the window was closed for the Chiefs, even though they are obviously, aided by the NFL in its entirety. When you have a franchise quarterback, anything is possible. And Josh Allen is a franchise quarterback, and I think that if he, locks it down, it's always possible. I do believe the Bills will always be in contention to be in the hunt for the AFC East and a playoff spot. And if they get into the dance, then boom, that's all. They just need things to go their way this damn time. That's all I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
But the Bills will be okay. There's no need to get down. We still need to support them, and we need to show them more love than ever. And we have to be patient and understand Brandon Beane is going to do his absolute best and do everything that he can with what he's got. So if you haven't already done so, ladies and gents, you're live. You're in the Sit Down, a sports entertainment show. And this is on Facebook Live and Anthony Bomasudo and at the Gamebook Sports and Entertainment Network. Make sure you're followed and liked with your notifications turned on so you don't miss the live shows or content coming from us over here with the Gamebook and Sauce God. Make sure you're also subscribed to the YouTube channel, which we're live on as well, at Buffalo Sauce God, where my TikTok is as well, and my Instagram, where you can also check out those social media platforms. And don't forget, check out Duff's Miss Wings, the best damn chicken wings. They have recent renovations to their original location on Sheridan Drive. You don't have to ask for them extra crispy. Remember, medium is hot. And also check out BuffaloSauceGuy.com, the other sponsor of this show. So, Gage, let's go ahead. Let's go into a little something of bada bing, bada boom. Let's get that video up and let's play that. And then we're going to go into something about forget about it shortly after. Let's play that.
This is the Army where you shoot them a mile away. You got to get them close like this. Bada bing! Bada bing!
Last night's action was pretty solid. I saw some hockey. It was working out. You're seeing some NBA that's working out, this and that. But I want to say overall for Bada Bing, Bada Boom, Gage, it's been about Parlay Patron and the method that we have gotten, and we are going to start introducing people to. Parlay Patron is a betting subscription that we are coming out with that actually is 90% 90% accurate and actually has a mathematical method to it. And it's tricky in a sense because some people might have question marks, but we have answers to those question marks, and it's a proven method. We have actual results showing for it, and people are already asking, hey, how do I get involved with that? It's easy, guys. Instead of paying an actual handicapper that'll say, oh, I'll give you 70%. No, come on and check out our methods. We'll teach you about betting. We'll teach you everything that we do and everything involved with that. So Parlay Patron, be on the lookout for that, ladies and gents. We might give out some free picks throughout the weeks. You might get a little taste of that as well. But 12 gauge, instead of doing forget about it, because I don't want to talk about the bad beats from last night. Actually, just screw it. Stephen Curry the other night with the 25 points. It's hilarious. But best TV shows. I'm going to give you my top three. You have The Sopranos, The Office, and then I think you honestly have to put Breaking Bad at number 3. That's my top three. Gage, what are your top 3 shows?
Oh, that's a hard. Big Bang Theory,
Oh, good one.
Friends, and
Overrated. Good, but overrated.
I'm gonna throw the X Files in there.
Yahoo! Different choice. I like it. If we're talking top TV shows, we gotta fucking throw in General Hospital, soap opera. That shit's been on for like 80 years every day.
I
Like
know, right?
characters that fell down an elevator shaft and they're coming back to life. Oh man! So if you guys haven't done so, hit us with that like and share. Join us in the comments. You're here in the Sit Down, a sports entertainment show. Also, your Bills Mafia coverage throughout the NFL season. And right now in the off season, we've got nothing but entertaining sports content for all you guys out there. 12 gauge. You got any picks that you like for tonight?
I haven't even looked. I know I like Tage Thompson to score a goal. That's
The Sabres do play
always my
tonight.
pick. Yeah.
The puck drops and the puck drops it. Oh, they're already playing. It's 1-1 currently for the Sabres and Lightning in Tampa Bay. I'll tell you this much. I think I honestly could give you one or two picks. I think you got to go over 6.5 for the Colorado Avalanche and Blackhawks. I think they're trying to get you to bet the under and think they're going to stay low. I think that's a nice over there.
Yeah.
And also, I think I'm going to take Sabres plus 1.5. And I'm thinking also Detroit plus 2.5.
Ooh, I like
All
it.
right, excellent. All right, Gage, I think that's going to do it for us tonight, man. We were live last night, and we wanted to bring you guys some updates in the world of sports. Make sure you guys check us out here live just randomly now. We have a schedule coming out soon for our regular content, but you guys can catch us on Facebook and on YouTube here in the Sit Down, presented by Duff's and Miss Wings, hosted by myself, the Sauce God, and 12 Gauge over here, and also my guy, Ramparts Hockey. And we're live Facebook, YouTube. Check it out. Make sure you're liked, subscribe, notifications turned on. And as always, God bless, go Bills, and 12 Gauge. Thank you very much for co-hosting.